an arm of the city of Wilmington, an adjunct arm, but nonetheless it is. It was formed by the city at the time the Air Force pulled out of the Airpark. Before CIC, before Airborne Express, before all that, that was going to be empty. And consequently, the CIC was formed to buy that Airpark from the federal government, which they did. So it's a long and storied history that we have as far as development in the community. Many of the industries that you see all along David's Drive itself, the utilities along David's Drive, or many of them were paid for by the Community Improvement Corporation by selling off portions of ground, buying more ground, selling off to the industries that we could recruit for the city of Wilmington. Now I want to bring you up to date currently. In May of this year, I believe it was May, the CIC purchased this tract of ground. This is Progress Way. This is Rombach Avenue. This is Walmart. And this, I believe it's almost 130 acres. The CIC purchased with the thought of developing new industries and new business for the city. We set it up so that it could be developed in sections and recruit new businesses to the area. It's not a wild scheme, because between actually Grove City, like Columbus, and Mason, going down I-71, there are no properties available no buildings available to lease or rent for industries coming in. So this is the only, Mayor pointed out to me the other day, this is the only property that we know of that's this close to an airport, this close to a bypass, and this close to I-71. It's a beautiful piece of ground for development. So the CIC put together a development plan for that area. I've got some brochures on that. If you haven't seen it, I'll be glad to show them to you after the meeting. But at any rate, so we're all set up, start developing down here, put up spec buildings or something so that we can recruit new businesses into the area. Only problem is the sewer line along here, when we went to try and get into that, it flows up to Rombach Avenue, and there's a problem with that because we have a lift station here, a lift station here, and a lift station here. It would all have to be redone. Rick can get into the details on that with me here in a few minutes, but the problem is that if we go that way, we're looking at the nearest estimate we've gotten so far is a $1.7 million improvement so that we can develop this property. So we got to thinking about that and working on it. And came up with the idea, since this ground slopes this way, why not take that wastewater into a lift station right here, go across the way. These are lines that are already in place and of a sufficient size to handle the wastewater. Now we can go ahead and market the property. We can sell it. We know what we're going to have to have out of it in order to get these businesses in here, to price them a place to locate them. But there's still some things up in the air with that. One of them is that we would need right-of-way across here to get to these lines. I think this is one of the school properties or something. Depending on how we run that, it's force main. It's only a 6-inch pipe coming out of the lift station. But we still got to get it to there. So we need right-of-way, we need piping, we need a lift station, and we can make this work. It all seems fairly simple, except it's not cheap either. Now there's going to be some money involved. So I approached the CIC. CIC says, yeah, this seems like a good plan to us. I approached Jeff Lakis from the CIC, approached the Port Authority. And just yesterday, the Port Authority said, yes, we'll help you. We'll help you try and get this line in and acquire that right-of-way for you. So that part of the equation is solved. The only question now is, what's the lift station going to cost and what's the pipe going to cost that ended up there? So that's where we are. Now, our committee, I'm going to call our committee together. the City Services Committee. But we pretty much have a buy-in. We definitely have a buy-in as far as the concept is concerned. And I'm looking that maybe the city can participate in this, the developer will participate in it, that being CIC, and the Port Authority with their part of it, trying to get the line over to there. So that's where we are with this. And I think that we can move it ahead. The only thing is, old Nick's going off council at 3 more meetings. And I want to get this on the radar screen for everybody so that you can see where it's going. But folks, I'm here to tell you, this is the future for industrial development for Wilmington for years to come. It's something that if we don't strike now while the iron's hot, interest rates may go up. That crunches down the potential buyers. The economy right now, it's been so hot up in Columbus that there's very little available even up there. But even that's starting to cool down a little bit. Blessing is we've got the new plant coming in that we provided the water for in Jeffersonville. So we need to strike while the iron's hot right now. We recruit those businesses and industries to this area. This is our future development, folks. We get new housing in, we get new things in, but you got to have jobs. I always said my philosophy is the economy of the city is almost like the balance of trade to the country. The more money you've got coming in, the better off you are. And so if we bring those business and industries in here, we'll have more money for all the restaurants and the things that people like to have. I keep hearing, we want an Applebee's, we want a Myers store, we want all these things. Without the population, without the business, we'll never have it. Now, Rick, have I left anything else?
Double point. And everything you say comes back to the other issue up here that the station done issue for 3 that's relatively minor. The real problem going this direction is that the sewer is already declassified from an area of the sewer standard all the way down to Alvarado. So staying in that way would really restrict what the king will put in there. Mm-hmm. So that's why it makes some sense to come this way. The only other caveat, the only other obstacle is the I-9 at the airport. All the stormwater and the sanitary sewer it's taking up. This pipe brings the airport. When it rains hard, it's full. So we need to get the I-9 out. So there'll also be a project that we figure out how to pay for. We already have the study of what needs to be done. Just better figure out how to pay for getting it done. So, really the hard part is balances is done. Now it's all about money. And if we have to borrow up, whatever. We'll figure that out. But that, getting that I out of there is stuff we gotta do. And a large part of that will be lining about 15,000 feet of sewer with the Airparks. That needs to be done anyway, just for the life of the place. So if we can pull this together, then it'll boil a little bit of it. Even beyond what you talked about.
You brought up a huge point. Lining that sewer pipe to get, when he talks about I&I, that's inflow and infiltration. It comes when stormwater gets into the sanitary sewer system and overloads the pipe. And most of the time, it could handle it perfectly well. But you get a storm on top of what we're going to put in it, then we can cause it to what they call surcharge. Okay, no point there. The other real benefit to this is that preserves this line up here. Now, obviously, on down here, there's development that can take place. On up here on the other side of the bypass, there's development that can take place. But without capacity in this sewer, it'll never. Okay? So by taking the water this way and in this, that preserves Rombach Avenue for development for the commercial side. Maybe even, you can do multifamily up in here if you wanted to, as long as you got enough capacity in the sewer. But if we use it by going that way, we'll have it. That's plan in a nutshell. I just want to give that, like I said, on everybody's radar so that you can see what the thoughts are. Mr. Custy, next week, that's a